Hi, I'm Faith, and you're watching Willoughby DIY. Today's video, we're going to be doing the Heidi Sonboul DIY challenge. And if you don't know who Heidi is, please go check out her channel. She is absolutely amazing. I've been subscribed to her for a while now, and I just love her videos. She has so many, and they're so awesome. So I'll have her channel link down below, as well as the challenge playlist. Make sure you check out what everyone else is doing for this challenge. It's going to be amazing, I promise. For my project this week, I'm making this mirror, and it was so time consuming. It's the only project I managed to get done for this challenge video, and I'm so sorry. To start off with, I used this hexagon shaped mirror that I found at the Dollar Tree. I just removed the backing and the mirror itself from that, and I wanted to create sort of a faux welded look, so I used my hot glue gun and just added lines of hot glue along the corner of this frame, just on the outside, the front, and the inside of each corner. And I'm going to do that all the way around. And I'm sorry for the lighting issue. You can't really see stuff. New light. Not used to it yet, but I'm working on it, guys. But we're just going to apply that to every corner all around the mirror frame. And once that's all done and dry and cooled off, we can paint it. And I started with a base coat of this pavement gray color from Apple Barrel. And I really love this color. I've used it a lot, but that one's almost gone. I'm going to have to get some more. But you just want to apply that on the front, the inside, and the outside of the frame. So all over. And just make sure you press it. You get right in those crevices really good where you added the hot glue. Really cover that. And while this frame isn't like super glossy or shiny or anything, it's still plastic, so you can still scrape this paint off fairly easily. So just be careful before you see it while you're doing this, and before you've had it sealed in, maybe with some Mod Podge or something. You want to be careful of scratching it off. We're going to give one full coat all around that frame, front, the outside, and the inside, like I said. And one coat's plenty. You just need a good base coat to work off of, because we're going to use sort of a galvanized technique to make this look the way I want it. And to do that, I'm going to start with adding some of this silver metallic paint by Craftsmart into that pavement color, and then just sort of dry brush that all over, just like on the front and the inside and outside, all over the frame. And this looks really good, and you could leave it here if you don't want to do more work, or if you just want it to be darker. But I felt like it needed more depth and dimension, and so I just took some of that silver paint on its own and just sparingly popped it in here and there all over the frame, wherever I felt like it needed a little bit of pop of silver. You know, just add until you love how it looks, or until you're afraid you're going to mess it up because you're adding too much. That's what I do. But this looks really good. You could leave it like this. I do add a little more later. But anyway, I'm going to make a template for this, and you probably should do this before you paint it. I forgot. But if you are like me and you forget, just be careful not to scrape your paint off with your pencil. I'm going to create this template so that I have a good guide to work off of for cutting down these huge craft sticks that I get from Walmart. And you'll need about 12 of these for this project. And I'm just going to, on my template, my hexagon shape, I'm going to connect the opposing corners on each corner. And I'm going to extend those lines out past the hexagon shape an inch or an inch and a half or so. I'm just doing this so that I know exactly where I need to mark and cut my craft sticks for them to meet up evenly. Once you have that template drawn out, you can just lay your craft stick down over those lines and use your ruler to draw a straight line directly over top of your craft stick. And I hope you understand what I'm saying. And then we can just cut that down. Be careful, because cutting these at a diagonal, they want to splinter on you more than they normally do. Once you have that first one cut down, you can just use that as a guide. You don't really have to mark it. You could just cut it from here. I don't know why I was marking everything. But you just need 6 of these. So you want to cut 5 more, 6 in total. And then I just laid them out and sort of made sure they matched up evenly and looked the way I wanted to, and they weren't, you know, all wonky. You just sand them, trim them, however you need to get them shaped the way you need them to be a nice, neat hexagon. For our other craft stick, our other row of these craft sticks, we're going to use that template, and then our first piece we cut and just extend that. Basically, we just want to make it slightly wider than the first one we cut, and it should match up like this once you've cut them down. Once you're sure they're perfectly matching up, you want to cut 5 more, so you have 6 in total. And then we're going to connect those long pieces with the shorter pieces using some Dollar Tree craft sticks. I just cut them in half and stuck them to the backs of those wood pieces using hot glue. Just take you a long piece and a short piece, line them up perfectly, and stick that and hot glue that half of a craft stick right onto the back, just like you see me doing here. And once you've got all 6 of those done, you can stain it. And I got this from Walmart in the clearance section for $2.40, and I quickly found out why it was on clearance. Just saying, it's pretty bad. I've never used this before, but it's like a polyurethane stain combo, and this stuff was a mess. It smelled terrible. There was like this lumpy, gloopy stuff in the bottom, and I had to stir it for ages and ages just to get a workable consistency. It was oily. I couldn't find my gloves. I swear I had some. But I started off trying to get this applied using a sponge. I didn't like how it was looking, so I switched to a paper towel, which worked fine. It was just too slow for me. Super impatient. So I switched to a foam brush. I'm staining the back. You do not have to do that, just so you know. Don't bother. But I switched to a foam brush, which works great. I mean, it's fast, it's wonderful. It just starts to disintegrate from the chemicals in the stain. After a while, it just started breaking down, and I had bits of foam brush everywhere. But I got everything stained, and it worked out, and that's what matters. And make sure you let this dry overnight. If you're ever on Instagram, make sure you come and follow me there for sneak peeks, updates, and behind the scenes stuff. I also created an awesome Facebook group. I just created it as just a safe space for us crafty people to get together and just help each other on our creative journeys, just inspire and get feedback and just share with one another. And anyone can join. So hopefully I see you guys there. I would love to have you. I'm jumping right back into it. Like I said, let that stain dry overnight because it's super oily. It'll give you trouble later with the hot glue if you don't let it dry overnight. And that's with this particular stain. I'm not used to working with stains, so. Anyway, I added rust. I used this bronze metallic Craft Smart paint, and I loved it so much that I applied it everywhere. It looks so wonderful. I concentrated mostly on the faux welded corner areas, but I did add some bits and some rust bits here and there throughout the whole thing. And I think the metallic look of the rust makes it look more high-end than real rust. I don't know if that makes sense. Do I ever make sense? Anyway, after you reattach your mirror, we're just going to take 12 of these tumbling tower block pieces and create a nice stable base to place our stained wood pieces onto to make sure our frame is nice and fitting perfectly. And we're just gonna attach 2 of those tumbling tower block pieces to each side of this mirror. You want to attach them as close to the edge as you can so you have as much of that space to work with for hot gluing your craft sticks onto. And just hold those in place while they're drying so that they don't fall over. Do it all the way around. And then I reinforced with a little bit more hot glue. There's a lot of hot glue. on the back of this thing. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of a mess back there. And then I wanted those wood craft, the big craft sticks, the stained wood pieces, to sit flush up against this mirror frame. So I cut off just the back edge of the welding I put on originally, faux welding. And I did have to trim up and sand down a few spots here and there to make everything fit nice and snug and perfectly. But once you've got it all perfectly done, you just attach it right onto those tumbling tower block pieces using some hot glue. And then I'm going to go back in with some more of those Dollar Tree craft sticks cut in half. And I just wanted to reinforce the back a bit more. It was kind of moving around a bit. So I just hot glued that right onto the places where those stained wood pieces met up on the back. And now for our framing, I'm going to use these dowel rods. The ones from the Dollar Tree should work perfectly fine, but I did get these at Walmart. I have them stained because I thought this is how I wanted to go. So if you like this, go with the stain. If not, paint them first. Just go ahead and paint. But we're just going to measure. We're going to take 6 of these dowel rods, and we're going to measure on each of the 6 of enough of a length to cover those seams coming out from the mirror, if that makes sense. Like I said, I never make sense. And then we're just going to cut 6 of the little pieces right off the ends of each of those dowel rods. And then we're just going to attach them right onto our mirror. And it did give me a little trouble because I didn't let this dry overnight. Like I said, using this poly shades, definitely let it dry overnight before trying to hot glue anything to it. But you see what I mean by coming out from the mirror? Yeah, we're just going to attach those to cover those seams up. And then we're going to take the other pieces, the long pieces that we cut those little pieces off of, and we're going to, I attempted to just cut them straight and stick them on the edge, but it just wasn't working. It wasn't wanting to sit flush and look right. So I had to go back in and cut it at an angle to fit perfectly in between those smaller sticks. I didn't get myself measuring the first one of these. I don't know what happened to that footage, but be careful when cutting these down. I'm not very careful. Lucky I haven't cut myself yet, but you just need to cut these down at an angle so they fit in between those small dowel rods. And then you're just going to hot glue those right onto your frame. And here you can see how I have that fitting. Just cut it at an angle, guys. I know you can figure it out. And if you need help, just ask me. I'll try to draw a diagram or something. But to create a hanger, I'm using some leftover chain from a Dollar Tree plant hanger set. And I'm just going to attach that to the back. I took the D-rings from the back of this mirror and I just pulled them right off and then attached them on the ends of my chain. And then I'm going to hot glue those right down, right where I need them on the back, where I want them to hang. See my daughter's little hand, she's trying to steal my stuff. The bottom left. Anyway, once those are hot glued on, we're going to completely cover those D-rings in a flood of hot glue. I don't want those things going nowhere. And then I cut down a piece of craft paper as well to cover up this mess that I got going on back here. But that's totally optional and up to you guys. It was bothering me. Once you got that all on, it's done, really. I didn't get footage of me painting the dowel rods, and I'm so sorry. My camera just wasn't on. I thought it was. I'm so sorry. But you could leave it like this. It is really pretty. I just felt like it needed a little bit more. You know, it needed more of a farmhouse look. It needed more rusticness. I don't know. Part of me feels like this isn't farmhouse just because I guess the hexagon shape feels more modern to me. But when I look at it, I get farmhouse vibes for sure. I mean, that rust and the metal and the welding and the wood. I think it looks farmhouse. Just let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Is it farmhouse or no? Anyway, to do the painting on that I, failed to show you guys, I just used the same painting technique as I did on the frame. Before I did that though, I did add more hot glue to create more faux welding at the joints where the dowel rods meet each other and the frame. And then I just painted it. Same paint, same technique. And I think it turned out amazing. I love it. And I think this technique and this application, you could use it for so many different mirrors. Like, other than a round mirror, I think you could use this. Maybe you could on a round mirror. Let me know. But for like a larger square rectangle, you could take some of those paint stir sticks, or you can even go huge with one of those huge mirrors and just use wood trim from like Lowe's or Home Depot or something. This is awesome. I love it. Just saying. But thanks so much for watching, you guys. If you like this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you know every time I upload a video. Don't forget to check out Heidi Sonboul and her DIY challenge playlist. I promise you won't regret it. It's going to be great. As always, have an amazing day. And I'll see you all next time.